Hello and welcome back. In this particular video I want to discuss the back checkers here, the backmost checkers, which in black's case are these two here and in white's case are these two here. Now, in the two previous videos on openings, well, I made one video on openings when it comes to rolling doubles and another one on openings when it comes to opening moves, that is, when it comes to not rolling doubles. Well, what I discussed in the video where you roll a double as your first roll of the dice, if you roll a double 5, you can't do anything with the back two checkers here. If you roll a double 1, well, it's good from the point of view that you can prime here, but then you only can move these two checkers one spot here, so you haven't advanced them that far. But with any other double, you can actually advance these two checkers quite a way up. With a double 6, you take these two checkers here and then these two here, which is the best possible roll you can have as a first roll. But then, well, with a double 4, you take these two here and you take these two here. That's what I recommended in a previous video for all these doubles, where in the case of a double 4, you've advanced them this far, which is a very good position to be in. And as discussed in the video on rolling doubles, with a double 3, it's better to move these two 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, where you've put them on a very key point here, where again you've advanced them a significant way along. And with a double 2, you can simply go 1, 2 and then 1, 2, and again have them on a good point where you can escape with them at any time. Now, with the exception of doubles, what you will find with rolls that are not doubles where you can't really prime anywhere, with a 3 and a 1 you can anchor up and prime this point, with a 4 and a 2 this point, with a 6 and a 1 you can prime this point. But with other rolls where you can't really prime any of these checkers, it's always useful to advance the back two checkers along. Like, for example, with a 2 and a 1, I mean, and I did discuss this again in the video on opening moves. A lot of people will say go 1 and then 2 here, and well, I wouldn't recommend that, because you're giving a free hit to these back checkers if your opponent rolls a 6 and a 4, and then you got 3 checkers in the wrong quarter, which is a bad thing. So with a 2 and a 1, the move I would recommend is 2 and 1. And likewise with a 4 and a 3, I mean, you've got a choice of going 4 and 3 here, where you've built a candlestick here, which is not good at all. So, and some people will recommend that you go 4 and 3 to, well, in inverted commas, develop these pieces. You're not developing them, again, giving a free hit to your opponent, as discussed in the video on openings. So with a 4 and a 3, the best move again would be to go 4 and 3 here. Now, in these particular examples where you would have to leave some checkers on their own, therefore you would leave the back ones on their own, because if you get hit here, it doesn't matter. You come straight back in this quarter anyway. But the other benefit is you are trying to make the best of a, well, ordinary situation. I mean, 4 and a 3 is not a good roll. Neither is a 2 and a 1. You're trying to make the best of, as I said, an ordinary situation by at least advancing these two. But fundamentally, whether you roll doubles or whether you roll combinations where you can't prime and therefore move these back checkers, the idea is to advance these back checkers as soon as possible. Now, again, as discussed in the video on opening moves, if you roll a 3 and a 2, that's a total of 5. I would move that checker here because it leaves a spare checker here in case you want to prime these 2 points, like rolling a 3 and a 1 and then rolling a 4 and a 2, where you've got 2 spare checkers here to be able to prime these 2 points. So with a 3 and a 2, I wouldn't necessarily advance those two. There's time for that later. But with any other roll, non-priming roll or a double roll, I would definitely try and advance those 2 checkers. Now, a lot of people would argue that one strategy, and again I put the word strategy in inverted commas, is to leave these 2 checkers here as long as possible in case you do a hit. I disagree with that strategy because I say, why do you want to leave them here as far back as possible when you can advance them and possibly get them out and then prime here and trap your opponent here? I mean, it makes no sense to leave the checkers there as long as possible, because you are giving your opponents repeated opportunities to prime these key points and trap you here. And as for capturing or hitting later and trying to win the game that way, well, there's no guarantee you're going to be able to hit here. No guarantee whatsoever. And if you fail to hit in your opponent's quarter after you're leaving these checkers there as long as possible, if you fail to hit, you will almost certainly lose the game. So I guess my main point in making this video is to explain that I would not recommend the strategy of leaving these 2 checkers here back in your opponent's quarter for as long as possible in case you do a hit later. I believe that is a bad strategy and I would not recommend it. That is the point I'm trying to make in this video. With rolls that are non-priming moves or with rolls that are doubles, try and advance those 2 checkers as quickly as possible, as far as possible. Now, I must say, when I say as far as possible with a double 4, and I've explained this in the video for opening moves for doubles, I would not go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 straight away as a first move, because that has immediately become a running game. And leaving these 2 checkers here with a double 4 and then priming here would be a good idea, because you have advanced those 2 checkers as far as you could. I mean, that's a good advancement. So, I mean, and likewise with a double 3, bringing them here, you have advanced them as far as possible for the time being. So when I say as far as possible, in case of a double 4, you can leave them there, and that is a very good advancement. You can get out any time, but definitely do not leave them back here or back far away in your opponent's quarter in the hope of doing a hit later. I definitely would not recommend that. Thank you for watching.